Start the stream now, so just bear with us a second. 3, 2, 1. And we're live. Davey, hello. Welcome to the MACKEM, CABBIE and Davey show. Davey, how are you doing, mate?
Champion, son. Just getting over the weekend.
And we've got super fast internet connection as well, so there was no problems tonight whatsoever.
Good.
So then, first of all, Davey, what do you reckon of the FA Cup draw then? Stoke City at home?
Oh, bit flat, innit?
We never get a glamorous tie, do we? Come on.
No, it was. I know. But I suppose I can't complain. It's better than last year's, isn't it?
I was hoping we'd get Newcastle on their patch this time.
It was just a bit flat of a draw. Just when you're at home, you're waiting for something decent, you know, and then Stoke City going, oh.
I know, but we often, as I said on Total Sport, we often just seem to get teams in our own league in the draws, don't we?
Aye. Very often.
I mean, how often do you see some...
I can't remember the last time we had a non-league team.
No, we didn't. But have you noticed, they always seem to... Newcastle seem to really get a lot of draws with the non-leaguers, didn't they?
Aye. You're getting a cracking draw, aren't they?
Bromley.
Right.
That's practically a bye.
Aye.
Ironically, because we're playing Stoke next and we get them in the cup.
Well, that happens pretty often, doesn't it?
It does and all. So, Davey then, so what did you reckon of the Sheffield United game? Before that, I heard you talking on Total Sport about the Jack Clark debate. And they were... Tommy Watson, yeah, they weren't having any of it, were they? Like, I totally agree with what you're saying, Davey. He's like... He's like a feather, he just gets knocked off the ball, man.
I mean, well, next time I get on, I will apologise because he had a cracking game, like.
All right, but you weren't to know that, though, Davey. I mean,
of course I wasn't. I was just going off the West Brom game, and like, it was like proper man against boys, wasn't it?
Oh, it was, and you were just literally chatting what you're saying. Do you know what I mean? That's all you were doing, and you were 100% right what you were saying. That
I thought it was right about Nick Barnes, the way like he went to introduce the show and he went, 25 of these, like, oh wait, man, you're a Sunderland pundit, you shouldn't be like that.
Why, I know, absolutely. I thought Benno was bad enough with his size.
Aye.
It was funny. I was listening to it. It was a few days afterwards and all that. But hey, Pastor Alex is in the. He's the first to message, Pastor.
Jesus, keen, isn't he?
He says, "Hello, my fellow Ugandans. How are you on this fine evening?"
Champion.
He never comes. He only comes on when you're on, Davey.
Aye, well.
Goodness knows. Mr. Davey, are you wearing a Burnley top? He says.
No, this is me Wembley top. This is what I wore for the playoff final when we beat Wickham.
Oh, there we go.
Well, the grandbands call it me Wembley top.
What a day that was and all.
Aye, I've watched it again today.
I've got it recorded on my Skybox. I won't get rid of it.
You know when you go through YouTube and it brings everything up?
Aye.
It brought that up so you can on it, and then once you've been on Summit, it brings everything up after that, doesn't it, about that day? Magic,
wasn't it?
Aye.
Anyway, Davey, what did you think of the Sheffield United match then?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if did you hear us on before the game about the referee? I said he's one of the worst. He's one of the worst referees in the league.
Yeah.
Seen him loads of times. He's pathetic. And the way he backed away from them players when they were shouting for a red card was embarrassing.
It was.
He had no intentions of giving a red card until they started badgering him like that.
But he's supposed to show authority, is he not?
If he's going to give a red card, Cabbie, he would have given it straight away.
Yeah.
But he never. He waited till he was pushed back and they were literally pushing him back up the field.
Yeah.
And then he went, I better send him off, and sent him off. It was just disgrace. Was never a sending off. Never.
No, because the Sheffield United player took the ball away.
He took it backwards. He took it backwards. If you watch it,
he did, and there was no intent. There was nothing malicious about that at all. And if you notice,
whether Bollard would have gotten round anywhere.
I know.
It was just a shocking decision. But if you're asking us about the game, I thought we played really well, and I could only see one winner, and that was us.
It's just the same scenario, Dave. We can't score goals at the minute.
I mean, in all levels of football, right? You've got to take advantage of when you're on top in a game. You've got to get a goal, and they had the chance when they got the penalty. Fair enough, he's missed a penalty. Loads of players miss penalties. I know that.
Of course they do.
But Patterson never touched the ball in that first half, other than back goal kicks and things like that.
I wasn't threatened to talk. Hello, Andrew. Welcome. Hello, SJ. Hello, David. I'll get back to your messages in a second. But no, do you know, I didn't feel threatened once by Sheffield United. I was quite comfortable. It was just so gut-wrenching because it had to be the player that just come on. He'd only been on about 2 minutes. And it just seemed to come out of nowhere. And Patterson's had a lot of criticism for that, thinking like he should have got to that ball, Pat, or like he should have. But if you look at it, it went between his leg and his arm. It went through the gap.
You hear it early and hard and all, like.
Aye. But this is
he just made good saves, Pato, mind you, didn't he? With his leg, that one.
I'm not blaming Pato. It's just what people have said. But I mean, look at this is what promotion teams do. They get goals. They get goals when it matters.
It was a game of fine margins, wasn't it? That game could have went anywhere, and neither side could argue. And I mean, when you miss a penalty, you feel a bit. Oh, we should have won that, didn't you?
It was. I mean, I was gutted, and I was. And look, you get given a gift, a penalty. You didn't put it away. It was always in the back of your mind, weren't you, that Sheffield United have got someone up the sleeve.
Aye. Oh, aye.
You know, and this is
that 30-minute spell between the first 5 minutes we were a bit on the back foot and they come at us early. But from the 5th minute to the 35th minute, that 30 minutes, we could have scored 2 or 3, like.
I know.
And he could have been sent off for that tackle on Watson. I didn't buy this malarkey way. If you give the penalty, you cannot send them off. That's rubbish, like. It's rubbish.
Well, you says to me, Davey, before, you says to me, I don't know if it was on one of my comments on one of my videos I do, but you warned us about that ref. He says, mind you, he says, this ref's just something about cards, you said. And I couldn't believe it.
Cabby, he averages 5 cards a game. That's averages.
That's absolutely ridiculous.
That's highlight, isn't it?
Have Sunderland appealed for the red card then?
No, well, they haven't because... Right, if it had been a booking, he would have still missed 1 game.
That's right, because 5 yellows.
So they've sent him off. He still only misses 1 game. So what's the point? What's the point of like arguing about it really? Because they might just give him a 2-game ban, mightn't they? For if they feel it wasn't harsh.
So he's only got a 1-match ban, hasn't he? Is that right?
1 match ban. But he would get that if it was a yellow card. You get what I mean?
Aye. So a lot of folk, Dave, you're confused for that then. So how did Bellingham get a 3-match ban and Meffam only 1?
Because Bellingham was sent off for serious foul play. If you think on, he put his studs up, hadn't he?
Right. Yeah, he did. Yeah.
That was just a foul. They're saying like delaying a goal scoring opportunity. That's what he was sent off for.
Right.
That's a 1-match ban. If it had been serious foul play, we'd be getting a 3-game ban.
See, do you know, I didn't even know that, and I think there's a few fans actually don't know that, are they?
Yeah.
You know?
He's really in the long scale of it. He's in the same position if he's got booked because we would have missed 1 game.
But
his 4 yellow cards. His 4 yellow cards is wiped off now. So
really, because Joe Bellingham's is not, is it?
Aye, but when you've played 19 games, all your yellow cards are obliterated. They're finished. They're finished. You start again. And it's Sunderland's 19th game, the next game.
Is that right? Is that what it is it? Right.
So Riggy and Joe have just not got to get booked against Stoke, and they're clear then. They're back down to naught.
It's easier said than done with us and the referees, isn't it?
Aye. No, sorry. I'll just, in case any of the listeners are confused, the bookings don't go down to naught, but you don't get suspended for 5 bookings. The next window is 10 bookings.
Right.
So you still stick your 5 bookings, but you don't get suspended. Unless you get to 10. So you get another 5 if you know what I mean.
Right, I've got you. It is confusing, but now that you're saying that, it does sort of make sense and stuff.
Yeah.
But it is concerning, Davey, that the fact that we aren't scoring. I mean, I know we were the better side, but I'd rather have been the worse side and come away with a 1-0 win.
I know.
It's just.
And I think people's a bit overreacting regarding the scoring because 6 games ago we were the top scorers in the league.
We were.
But this is a crucial period coming up. You know where I'm like, I'm always half glass full of that.
Well, yeah, of course you are.
But I think these next crop of games are crucial for us to get back on the horse and start winning games. These 2 home games are massive, massive.
Well, you heard us on Total Sport tonight. I says to Danny Collins, I says, this has started. I says, the minute we lost Mundle, and I says, and he mentioned that, oh yeah, he's very similar to Jack Clark, and well, he is. He's better than Jack Clark in his physique. Yeah. But ever since we've lost him, we haven't won.
Mundle's been a miss, but Shaw's better than mine, yeah.
Oh yeah.
We missed him for the games. We didn't win any of them.
Yeah.
So I think the combination of a few, like injuries, Sturton's a big miss because he bombs forward. He gets us up the field. He can take a chance. But everything now, it's back to normal now. Everybody's back, apart from Mundle, likely be another month or so.
So Sturton's back for the Stoke game, is he?
Who?
Sturton, is he back for Stoke?
He'll be playing against Stoke, aye. But we'll be back. We'll be back to normal now, and obviously we'll need Mundle back. But I think looks like Watson's going to be all right. He's better than I thought. He looked a lot stronger against Sheffield. I thought they might froze, but he come on. He come on a ton.
It's mad how good Watson was against Sheffield United, isn't it?
Aye, amazing. That when he got the penalty, it was lovely the way he went past him, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Where he just stepped over the ball and ran with his other foot, and the bloke was bamboozled, wasn't he?
It's just the when you said like beforehand, like, oh, how bad is, and I wouldn't start him and all that. It's like the scenario, you're feeling unwell, you get the doctors and you feel fit as a fiddle, or your car's not working properly, you get somebody out to come out and it works fine. It's just one of those things. But
yeah,
I was confident before the game, and I think you commented, didn't you? Say, what's the matter with you, Cabby? You're confident? What's wrong?
Cabby, we're a good team, man. We've got some good players. We have got some good players.
We have, but we've got to start scoring goals, Dave.
Yes, definitely. Wilson's missed a couple, hasn't he?
Aye.
He keeps missing the target, didn't he?
He does. Anyway, I'm going to go through some messages. I've got quite a few to read.
Yeah, come on.
I've said hello to Andrew Moore. Pastor Alex says, I remember when my local team beat the Uganda national champions in the pond. My tribe celebrated with torches, got told off by my security, and threatened to take away my fire and sticks. You don't personally know this fella, do you, Tippy?
No, I didn't. I need bastards.
SJ says, we will be appealing Meffham's red card. Nothing has been said. And as you said before, Dave, you don't think we will, do we?
No.
David Joblin says, good evening. Good evening to you, David. Hello to John Nesbitt. He says, a very good evening, Stuart and Davey. Hello to Steve Taylor. You all right,
oh, Stevie boy.
Says, good evening, guys. He says, I'm getting really cheesed off with all the negative comments by Sunderland fans lately. He says, I would have been happy to take 4th off top this season, so please take a deep breath. I mean,
and I think we've had our blip.
Well, yeah, I hope so.
Right, and we're still where we are. And you think if we'd won on Friday, we went back to the top. That's how close it is.
I know. But the flip side is, Davey, if we fail to beat Stoke, As I said to Nate, I says the pressure's going to start turning on Regis Labrie because whether you like it or not, the coach or the manager, it always comes down to him at the end of the day, doesn't it? Aye. They always get the rap.
Right. It's a results game.
It's a results game, and I'm just going.
I could have picked better games than Stoke to be playing though. Could you?
Oh.
They're just always horrible games against Stoke, aren't they? Always.
It's just not pretty. It's not pretty at all, ever.
I think they'll come and defend. Like I think they'll have watched West Brom and think, "Oh well, we'll go and do that."
You could be right. I mean,
so I hope we start well and play with high pressing and have the right goal and let them settle in like West Brom did.
But of course, we've got Sun and Stoke on the Saturday, I believe, 12:30, and then on the Tuesday we've got Sun against Bristol City, a night game. If we don't win both of them games, whether people hate me for saying it or not, then the pressure's going to start mounting on Regis Labrie.
But if we win them 2 games, we could be back at the top.
Absolutely.
Because I think Sheffield United, I think they might play Friday night again. I think they might play West Brom this week.
Well, let's have a
look. I know there's some tasty fixtures this week where they're all playing each other, apart from us. We play night teams below.
On the 8th of December, West Brom against Sheffield United.
There you are. That could go anywhere, couldn't it?
It could do. And then on the 11th of December, it's Millwall, Sheffield United.
There you go. Away. They've got 2 odd games, haven't they?
You know, and then they've just about got a bye after that. They've got Sheffield United against Plymouth. No disrespect to Plymouth.
I know.
And then they've got Cardiff away, and then they've got Burnley at home, and then West Brom at home, and then they've got Sunderland away.
Tricky games. They've got some. Sheffield United's got a tricky month. Very tricky.
All right. Without
so I think if we could get 6 points out of these 2 home games, the table could look really different.
Colin Major's in the chat. Hello, Colin.
Well, Cole.
He says, hi, Stuart and Dave. He says, have you got the Wembley 73 final?
Why, aye.
He's answered that question straight away, Colin.
No, straight away. You can watch that any time on YouTube, that.
I wasn't even born then, and I still get goosebumps watching it.
Were you not born?
I was born 75.
Oh, where?
2 years later.
So you're born 75. You must be 49.
I'm 50 in January.
Aye.
Well, just censor that bit there.
What date? January?
7th.
Oh, that's his 22nd. She's 60 in January.
I'm celebrating my 7th of January birthday by taking me taxi to the MOT Council Test Centre for me taxi test. So I'm chuffing with that.
Let them mark your birthday, then Mike. Gone easy on you.
No, the job's worth where we had. You're joking. SJ says Roberts should be taken off set pieces. He's rubbish at them. We made the most of them early in the season, but now it's an absolute waste. He's got a point there, mind. I mean, our corners and that. Good heavens.
Cabby, if we had anybody else at the minute, I don't think he'd be in the team because he looks down, doesn't he?
There was a picture of him. He was posing with a young Sunderland fan, and he just looks absolutely fed up. Roberts, doesn't he?
He's gone back the way he was last season, you know, when he just couldn't even run. It's a shame because he started the season well.
I know he did. You see,
he just seems low on confidence. He's not gone past anybody. His shooting's terrible. His corners, his free kicks.
I think he's missing Clark. You know, he's best mates with Jack Clark.
I think he should be took off all the set pieces. Like,
well, the way things are going, our corners, we might as well just pass straight to Patterson.
Aye.
Because every time, the majority of the corners we take, Davey, it's either the referee either blows for offside or it's blown for a foul.
I am getting a lot of offsides or pushes when we get a corner.
Yeah, it's the most anticlimactic corners Sunderland take because the fans get excited. Come on, Sunderland, we've got a corner. The ball's not even in the 6-yard box. It's not even floated into the 18-yard box yet, and the referee's blown foul. And it's like, is that it?
And yet, at the beginning of the season, we look like we're going to score for every corner.
Aye.
And it was Roberts tapping them. You just can't understand it, can you?
Either that or they're not even getting past first man, or they're going too hard, they're going out for a throw-in.
No.
But why is he still taking set pieces? And this is what a few fans on forums have been saying, the fact, like, well, surely this is what you've got to point the finger at Regis LeBray. It's like, well, how? It's like, why is he
The interesting thing is on them on Saturday.
Well, it will and all.
Or if he's playing. But the only one who can take his place is Meander, isn't it?
Aye.
We haven't got another right winger. I mean, they've got Pervader in to put pressure on Roberts, but that hasn't worked out, has it?
No, absolutely not. Hello, Paul Graham. How are you doing? He says, I always thought it was up the captains to have a word with their players, and if the players go on stupid, then they get yellow carded. John Nesbitt, hello, John. He says, okay then, guys, how long is this model going on for? Indefinitely, or will the owners have some sort of meeting to plan the future? He says, John says he's not convinced that we'll ever get promoted with this current model. What do you think of that comment then from John?
Well, they have tweaked the model this season, haven't they?
They've tweaked the model this season, obviously by the way we've started. But I think
we've got Metten, 30-year-old or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Got Alan Brown, 30-year-old. So they have tweaked it. They wouldn't entertain anybody 30 last season.
And let's face it, how good's Meffin been when he's on?
Oh, fantastic.
You know, I mean, and it just goes to show you that way that he is listening. We need experience. We need older players, and it shows you how vital it is to get them older players into the championship. You've got to have some older players with experience in this championship.
Well, it would be lovely to think that we could get an experienced centre forward in, but can you see it? We've been saying this for 3 years.
I think what John's on about is, and what a few Sunderland fans have said, is the fact, like, is this the slump? Is this the usual Christmas collapse we do where we're,
Nah. I don't see it like. We're still playing well.
A lot of Sheffield United fans.
We played lovely stuff on Friday, man.
Oh, we did. The Sheffield United fans have said the best team we played at Bramall Lane this season.
We've heard that every week, haven't we?
Yeah.
But we are playing some lovely stuff.
Oh, we are. But, like I say, again, on like a broken record, we've got to find the net. There's no ifs or buts about it. Because we could play absolutely brilliant against Stoke. And we could play some superb Barcelona-style football against Bristol City. But if we didn't score and we've lost 1-0, what does it matter? It's a waste of time, isn't it? We've got to score. John Ruddock, hello John. He says, Roberts is quality player and he will come good again. And that's why I think if he is, then he does maybe need. Do you think it'll be good to rest Patrick Roberts, or do you think that'll do his confidence even more bad?
Well, if you left him out, who are you going to play? Who are you going to replace him with? There's only Meander.
He just needs that goal, doesn't he?
A week off might. If he had pressure on his place, would help. But he hasn't, has he?
But the thing is, we're clutching it. We don't really know. I mean, he could be gone through some personal stuff. You just didn't know what's going on with him. You don't know.
Oh, you didn't know like that.
Because we keep forgetting, it's not just about physical injuries with footballers. We don't know what's going on in any of their private lives. And, if there's something not good happening, wherever it may be in his head, and I'm just obviously speculating here, then of course it's going to affect them on the pitch, innit? Andrew Moore says, Tommy Watson terrorised Sheffield United, to be fair. I was surprised how good he was against Sheffield United, mind.
I was. He had that he had that winger on toast, didn't he? Fullback, sorry. He was on toast.
He did. It was... And it wasn't just for the odd 5 minutes. He kept that up for the whole game he was on.
You just wanted the ball to get to him all the time because you just looked dangerous.
And a lot of the Sheffield United fans are saying, mind you, that young lad Watson, you've got a little diamond there.
Mm-hmm.
So...
You'll only get better with game time, you know.
Of course so, of course. But, yeah, it's a good point. And But you also were right though, Davey, as well with Watson beforehand. That the fact he was just getting against the bully boys, against the likes of Prestons and the Millwalls and stuff. He just kept getting knocked off the ball, didn't he?
Yeah, he was. He might have been listening to me phone call, do you reckon?
He could have been. Well, aye.
Yeah, I'm going to show that Davey. I'm going to get stuck right in. I hope it works.
I'll try and get him on here.
Aye.
John Nesbitt says, Davey, I watch Watson in the reserves. He was exactly the same at Sheffield. Never looks up for the strikers. That's in his experience coming out. But he was tremendous at Sheffield, and he certainly was. SJ says, I thought Watson would have got bullied against Sheffield United. All these games will benefit him in the long run. It took Clark a good full season in League One to get going, and Job as well.
Clark didn't even play at Wembley, if you think on.
That's right. And
he didn't get picked. They picked Embleton.
And he's made a good point about Job as SJ because he wasn't he? We were starting to sort of doubt him. It was like, well, he's not really good at that, but
you cannot beat actual match experience.
No, you cannot. Gary Hall says it'd be nice to see Lyndon Gooch again.
Oh, that boat sailed, isn't it?
Aye, it's he's.
Jack Clark. I heard you on about Jack Clark the day. That'll not happen.
You don't think Jack Clark will come back on loan?
Nah. He's in the squad every week, man. He's in the team. He plays every week. He comes on every game. I've watched it. He's come on every game.
Aye. Well, it's going to serve.
He's obviously a vital part of that team if he's coming on every game. I could understand if he was a bit like Rooson, where he just never gets to sniff.
Aye.
But he's coming on. He's not going to come back, man. Plus his wages will be 3 times what we were at him on.
Aye. 50-50 on that one. A lot of fans basically say now, well, that boat's now sailed. You know what I mean? And
aye. I mean, I would have him back.
Aye.
I would understand what people were saying when they said it would blunt Watson and Mundell's progression if he was straight back in.
Yeah.
They would look and think, oh well, what's going on here?
You've got to be careful what you wish for, haven't you?
Aye. Yeah.
Gordon Loughton, hello Gordon. Says Wilson getting no service at all, making great runs but not getting the ball. He says we need to.
I think we've created a few chances from these last few games. You put them away.
He says we need to mix our play up, put a few balls over the top to turn their defence instead of trying to play through the back five. But he's had his chances, hasn't he, Wilson?
Yeah.
And he's not thingying like at all.
Yeah.
Darren Hall.
It's not as if he hasn't had any chances. He has.
Yeah. D Hall says 100% on Job, and your messages are getting read, D Hall, and don't ignore anybody on here as much as we can. So don't worry about that, bunny lad. John Nesbitt says the reason Meffem got sent off was because of Onion's 09's crazy pass across field straight to one of their players, leaving Meffem with no choice of manners. That was a bit weird from 09, wasn't it? That pass. It was like he really put us unnecessarily under pressure. That like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just a moment of not thinking. I don't know what he was thinking of there, do you? I don't know why he chose to just pass it there when there was already forwards ploughing forward for Sheffield United, and 09 plays it right where the danger bit is.
Aye, and that was a dangerous crossing, that ball across and that. But I tell you what, he's an absolute diamond, 09. Man.
Oh, he is.
However, he's been playing centre half all season. Then he plays right back on Tuesday night, and then on the Friday night he plays left back.
He's all over the shot, isn't he?
Crazy man.
He's all over the shot.
Right.
Gary Hoyle says December is always a tricky month for everyone.
Aye, it is. There's a lot of games and a lot can change in short space of time.
Of course it can. Well, look, Leeds' last defeat against Blackburn.
They got beat, that's what I mean. I think 80% of the game, 80% had possession.
They did, aye, but they were just hapless in front of goal.
Aye.
Strange, man.
No.
Colin Major says, I'm 60 on the 13th of this month. Oh.
This one.
I think that's a Friday the 13th as well. Is it?
Yes, it is.
Is it Friday the 13th?
Colin, you better stop in that, dear.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think it is, aye.
It's the 13th, aye. You better stop in, Colin.
Aye, absolutely. Stop where you are, Colin, lad. As Davey says, listen to Davey. Listen to
Especially if it's been snowing, you might slip.
Gary Hoyle says Paddy has issues, no confidence whatsoever, and we've said that's written all in his body language at the minute. Gary also...
Cabby, I read a statistic the other day. How many goals do you think Roberts has scored for Sunderland in the last 60 games in open play?
I'm going to go for 2.
None.
You serious?
None.
Open play?
Aye. Well, he's only scored 1 goal in 60.
Penalty.
And that was that penalty at Plymouth.
That's crazy when you put it that, isn't it?
It is. When you think how much talent he's got and how many chances he's had.
What do you think's stopping him then? We know he's got that. We know he's got that similar to what Jack Clark's got, where he cuts inside and he's got this.
I mean, look at that goal he scored against Watford, man, to get us that point, which was a point that got us in the playoffs.
That was the last minute goal, and all, wasn't it?
Aye, last seconds, not minutes.
Last seconds, aye. But
when he just whipped it in the top corner, didn't he?
He's got that in his locker. Why isn't he doing it? Why isn't he doing it?
Everyone gets in the crowd, didn't it?
It does. Or when he has opened up the defence and he's got that chance to shoot, he takes it a bit further. Or it's like he doesn't want to. It's weird. I think
it's confidence. Like I think if he got a couple of goals, he'd be flying.
Absolutely.
Confidence is massive in football, Cabby.
Oh, of course it is. I mean, like I said, Gary.
Just look at your boys in blue at Manchester. Look how confident they look now.
Oh, they're shred to bits, them, aren't they?
Aye, shot the bits. All confidence. They're the same place. Apart from Rodri, like.
Mm-hmm.
But they're just all over the place.
Gary Hall says Paddy has issues, no confidence whatsoever. I've already said that. Surely we have our targets picked out for January. Goodness knows, but we do need something in strength and depth.
She's going to bed.
Oh, she's tired. Thank you. The wife's just handed us some lovely homemade rice pudding.
Homemade rice pudding? Getting spoiled, Cabby.
Oh, it's bloody lovely, you know. We'll come back to that, Gary, where the next transfer window, because it's getting nearer. John Nesbitt says apparently they're looking for a right winger. And Gary Hall says easy for us to pick fault. Yeah, we don't know what's going on in Paddy's life.
Right, exactly.
John Ruddock says we need players in January. He says, but this lot will not invest big money to get us over the line. They have no ambition. We will never get promoted with these owners. And that's the second person in the chat tonight that said that.
I disagree with them.
You disagree with them?
Definitely. We've been absolutely tremendous up until 6 games ago. Nobody was complaining when we'd scored and never conceded a goal. We were saying they're the best team ever.
We just need that win against Stoke. I mean, a few
big win, and it'll be if we do get a win, it'll be a nasty, dirty one.
A lot of supporters of other teams have said, "You guys are due to absolutely give someone an absolute tank."
Oh, definitely.
You know what I mean?
It could be Saturday. You didn't know, dear. You never know.
We don't. Excuse me, that was absolutely delicious.
It could have been Friday night if that penalty had went in, because you never know how Sheffield might have went right there.
How many times do we say it's fine margins?
It is. That's it. Football is, man.
Kevin Ware, you alright, mate? How are you doing? He says some mates that are Celtic fans say Roberts was always hot and cold there as well.
No, he's always been hot and cold.
He says he thinks he suffers with mental health, and hopefully, if so, the club does things to treat that side of things for him. Well, I mean, they've also, we haven't got just, and this is every club, you haven't just got coaches and physios and stuff, but you will have psychologists, psychiatrists and stuff. They'll have all that. They'll have that all on tap if needed.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? But well, like I say, we're only speculating. My messages are getting ignored, like says D Hard. Says, oh no, not at all. I've only seen 2 from you, mate.
Don't ask a question and I'll not ignore them.
There we go. Andrew Moore says, I used to work with a Brum fan, and he said Job was weak and barely got games in his last season with them. He says last year he was decent for us, but over the summer he's clearly toughened up in every which way form. He's clearly toughened up, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Kevin Ware says, this is Kev Atkinson, by the way.
Oh, he's got a new channel on. You'll have to join his channel, Cabby.
Oh, right. Is that right? You've got a new channel on YouTube. Oh, right. Is there any specific why?
You'll have to put it on. Because he likes to go in. You'll have to watch it. He goes all over the place in the Highlands and that.
Oh.
Looking at all the derelict places and that. Haunted castles.
Right. Well, I hope he doesn't do what Terry does and start caressing doorknobs and stuff.
No. Not like that.
That's still weird, that one, when you look at it.
No. Weird,
it was so out of character. That's what made me laugh. I thought, I've never ever, of all the videos I've seen him, never once seen him act like that.
No. That's how I had to ring in, tell you, because me and old lass got a shock.
It was like he'd been possessed by the devil or something, wasn't it? He'd been possessed or something. It was like, what's going on? Oh, dear me. SJ says, pity Bar couldn't get going. Then we'd have competition for Roberts. Some of our French players need to step it up, like our Sheesh, for example.
Did you see Bar on Saturday? Did you watch that game on Saturday?
I did, yes.
He's terrible, Barney.
Oh, it was awful, awful.
But anyone on that pitch, that Ogden he looks a good prospect, him, doesn't he?
He does. Massive.
I
thought it was an entertaining game.
That was. Well, they're top of the league, the Man City. They've got players that's played in the first team.
Aye. Hey, we give them a good run for the bloody money.
Oh, it was a cracking game. You could see they were class, couldn't you?
Oh, aye. But we showed a lot of good quality, man, Davey.
We've got some good young ones coming through. Harrison Jones is a good player, isn't he?
Oh, aye.
In midfield.
Absolutely. No, I like watching the under-21s if it's sitting and stuff. And was it on Sunday? Was it a Sunday it was on?
Saturday morning.
Saturday morning, that's what it was on.
Aye.
That's right, because I just took my boys. I watched the boys play football. I enjoyed that, and I came back and that was on straight away. So I enjoyed. Aye. Good way to start the Saturday. That.
Aye.
David Harris, hello David, mate. He says some pace, power, and physicality needed in January. We get bullied off bottom sides. Also, a specialist defensive midfielder would make a huge difference.
Right. We've got one. We've got one of the best players in the championship, but he can't get fit. Sally Samad.
Yeah.
Tell the supporters to go and watch him on YouTube. He's unbelievable.
Time's getting nearer, Davey, for him to make his start.
Yeah.
You just didn't know, do you?
No, he must be. I think he'll play this month.
Aye. Hope so. Andrew Miller says, yeah, 09's pass was daft, but that's not why Meps got sent off. He got sent off because, like Davey said, the ref was hopeless. He was like a little mouse backing off, wasn't he?
He's horrible, man. He's horrible. I remember him off years ago. Can you remember when we played Hull City away? And he sent Embleton off for that high tackle.
Oh, when he broke his leg?
Aye.
That's right. Aye. Was that him?
That was him who sent him off.
Give away. Really?
Oh, he sent him off lying there with a broken leg and he sent him off. That was the same ref. Gavin Ward. Shocking.
Is that the first time we've had him this season?
No. I think we've had him before. I've never looked. I normally look now to see what games have ref, but I didn't. No, but we've had him last season and that. Horrible. He's just horrible. The way he let them players push him back was embarrassing.
Well, it's up to him to get authority in it.
Right. I like to see refs show authority, mate. Like, whether they're right or wrong, for God's sake, show some authority. Otherwise, the players will have you in their pocket, like.
Yeah. Of course it is. John Nesbitt says Blackburn game is sold out, gutted because he was desperate to go. Of course, it's not that far to go, Blackburn.
Boxing Day. Boxing Day.
Boxing Day. It's not far for the Sunderland fans, really.
No. 7,500 there.
Aye.
Sold out.
Gary Hoyle says Luke will play anywhere. He just loves it here. He does, and that's what you said before, Davey, about Luke going on. He will give him a position cleaning the dust off the top of the floodlights. He'll do it, wouldn't he?
Yeah. Tremendous.
he just doesn't complain. He gets on with it. Colin Major says, just my bloody luck, lads. I don't know what he's on about there, Colin. Janet says, Luke is the best utility player we have. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, he's a good player. He's good player and he's a good bloke. How anybody can call him or slate him out and like they're watching a different person to me. Like he gives his all, more than gives his all.
D Hall says, I posted this before Davey said it, but you missed it. It's maybe Watson heard Davey's message and put a bomb up his arse.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I'm sure they must play my comments into the dressing room.
We didn't know, do you? Could be on speaker.
Yeah. You know?
You didn't know, do you?
Right.
John smiles. Hello, John. How are you tonight? He says, could there be too much influence off the pitch? Who knows?
I've heard all about them saying about Dodds getting interfering and all that. For God's sake, man, he's the coach and all, man. They should have something to say.
But also, is Dodds, is he actually that bad? I mean, I was just not forgetting at the fact that the injuries we've got and the players we've got missing.
I know. Cabby, Dodds has been a good coach for us. He has. The trouble with Dodds is he's not a manager.
No,
he can't manage his players.
So therefore, why aren't we giving Dodds some credit for the fantastic start we had? Because he must have had some influence in that.
When I used to ring Newcastle up and Radio Newcastle used to say, well done to the players and the staff, all the staff. They're all down to Regis.
Why not?
Yeah.
Ken Walton, hello Ken, you alright mate? He says, well said Davey. John Nesbitt says, no Davey, I've always had my doubts about this model. He says, sorry, you are not right. Where I'm concerned, I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think so. No, we're all entitled to our opinions, and this is what it's all about. Didn't want everybody agreeing. I have heard a few fans myself say that they're still not confident with this with this model. John Ruddock, hello John. He says, Davey, I've said this from day one, not just at the moment. I know they are playing good football, but they need some help from the owners.
I can say that and all. See what January brings.
Oh God, I mean,
I think if we still need the top in January, I think they'll have to invest like to keep us there and give us a chance. It's no good this like having one full back in, nobody to play on the left or nobody to play on the right. Every department should be covered.
It's such a brutal league. This, if you get any injuries or you miss any of your players, then you're just going to get picked left, right, and centre. You're going to get attacked in your weak spots. And it shows. It seems to show with Sunderland loads season after season when we're missing our big players. We're just not the same team at all. But for years we've struggled with strength and depth, Davey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
I mean, people try and play us off against Burnley and Sheffield United and Leeds. The fans have got to understand them teams have got mega millions to play with. Sunderland haven't.
And their experience of the Premier League.
Aye, but you're not talking 10 millions, you're talking hundreds of millions more money to chuck in the hat in Sunderland.
Of course you are.
One of their players will be on more than the whole of Sunderland's team in wages.
Yep.
And it's a fact.
It shows, Davey. It shows. It absolutely shows.
I bet you that Nando's on about 50 grand a week. There you go.
Well, if there's any Leeds fans watching, you can fill us in. But yeah, it could be a good point, that, Davey.
I bet he's on 50 grand a week, him.
Aye. And I don't think we've got any of our players on that.
No, nowhere near.
Nowhere near.
our highest earner, you'd be lucky. I'll tell you who it will be now. Meckham will be the highest earner. And that's because he's come from the Premier League. But they might be paying some of that wage.
There could be.
But
Gary,
these things, you didn't get an idea.
you didn't, Davey. You didn't. Gary Hoyle says, how many times have we had expensive signings and they've not worked? Money is not the problem. It's recruiting the right players. Of course it is.
Exactly. We didn't spend fortunes on Clark, Roberts, Serkin. Need big monies, and they've all paid off.
Yeah,
Stewart. It's not about the money. It's having the right person.
Look at Ross Stewart.
Ross Stewart, there you go.
As a classic example. SJ says, they're not going to spend big money though, John. He says, we all know that their intention is to buy young promising lads and hope they come good on the pitch and make money off it. Rather like the buy and sell carry on. But as Davey said before, he says they are stepping up, they are getting the experienced players in.
Yeah.
Let's face it, if we hadn't assigned Meffin and whatnot, I don't think Sunderland would have won half their games.
No,
because he's been
a tremendous signing. And he was a good pick out because nobody mentioned him about signings. Yeah. He just come out the blue.
He did. I always remember Meffin against Hull away. But didn't we win 1-0 that game?
Aye.
Meffin was just amazing. I remember one challenge, he chased him halfway down the pitch and he tackled from behind, but he hooked his leg round and 100% clean got the ball.
I've seen him play for Bournemouth umpteen times and he's just never stood out. So it just shows you the gulf between the Championship and the Premier. Meckham has never stood out to me when I've watched Bournemouth.
A lot of fans will tell you they've not really heard of him.
No, there you go.
Oh dear. John Nesbitt says the young lad up front in the reserves is wanted by Liverpool. He says they want to swap him for their striker who looks decent. He says, but I wouldn't want to see our striker go. He's getting better and better and better. And who's he talking about there, Dave?
Ogunsui.
Ogunsui. That's his name. He's a good player, isn't he?
Yeah, well, he really should be playing the under-18s, but he's playing the under-21s.
Aye.
He's been promoted. I mean, he's been on the bench twice this season in the first team.
SJ says, is it a honeymoon period, Spencer? It's been a long one. Then if that is your logic. I think he's replying to someone in the chat. Janet says, Luke is a proper gentleman and a fantastic role model, and I don't think there's any Sunderland fan will disagree with you on that one.
No, you never hear any players complain about Luke online, do you?
Do you, hell? Colin Major says, I was on about Friday the 13th, lads. Good old Colin. Kevin Ware, Kevin Atkinson, he says, I don't think the model is to go up when the fans want us to. He says, we could have 2 or 3 more years yet in this league. He says, I think the model is to go up with a squad ready and good enough to stay up.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
It's a tricky one. I mean, not just that, you've always got a battle to keep your players as well. So it's all right trying to build a squad, but it's how you keep your squad when you get up.
I know.
That's the difficult thing is, so you've got a good squad, an absolute belting squad, then you get promoted to the Premier League and all the Premier League players, or the bigger clubs from Europe perhaps, nitpick and get your players. Mm-hmm. So you end up in the Premier League with a weaker squad than you had when you were in the Championship because you've sold half of them to bigger clubs. Mm-hmm. It's just a never ending vicious circle, isn't it?
Every time you don't go up from the Championship, you lost your good players and all.
Of course you do. These messages.
Like, I don't think anybody can think that Bellingham will be here next season. I'll be very surprised.
What if he was still here?
Aye, very surprised that somebody big didn't come in for it.
He'll be going to where his brother started.
Could be, aye. Could be all lined up, put him on the same path. And he's not going to turn it down, is he?
You don't expect him to, do you?
No, I know.
Says John Nesbitt says, Davey, I totally agree. We'll see in January. Hopefully it's the beginning and not the end of the month. Otherwise, it's 2 months. Then they have to settle in. Waste of time then.
Aye, I know. And let's hope the fit when we buy them.
Aye, we didn't want to be getting some more players in January and they're off for another 8 weeks, 9 weeks because you'll be coming up the end of the season by the time they come in.
I know.
Pointless. SGS says should get August Sui in the first team, and then if Liverpool are interested in him, surely he'll be good backup to Isidore. Kev Atkinson says again, and when we get there, it will be proven to be the best thing for the club and the fans. Davey, these messages are coming mental. He says,
Great.
and Kev's also says, I look at Brighton and think we are following the same kind of model. They've had a plan over the past 7 or 8 years and now quietly sits second in the Prem. I used to live down in Brighton and they were playing, I think it was...
a tremendously run club, that.
Oh, it is. And when the Goldstone ground got knocked down, they were playing like a Gateshead Stadium type of a stadium. And they were like 200 yards from the pitch. It was an awful ground. And they were in no man's land, Brighton, at the time. They were, I think, they were below the champ. I think Division 1, I think, at some point when I was living down there. I could be wrong. I'll have to go back at it again.
Look at Brentford. How they're doing. Brilliant.
It's mental. I mean, I went to Carlisle when they beat Brentford at the Johnson Paint Trophy final when Carlisle beat them 1-0. Brentford, and then you say, now you look at them.
It's mad, isn't it?
It is. So there's hope is the fact like they can do it. I know they've got maybe they've got an advantage because they're down south. I don't know whether that still applies. I don't know, but it can be done. Gary Hoyle says, look at the Premier League, how many mercenaries are recruited and then fade into an oblivion. Janet says, I liken Rigg to Ahmed and Watson to Anthony Gordon Newcastle. There we go. A lot of people have said Watson looks like he's going to be that player that Chelsea's got. Who's that? Who scored in the final against Spain, England in the Euros? Palmer. A few people have mentioned that. John Smiles says,
Did you see Ahmed yesterday?
I didn't know.
Oh, brilliant. He's not coming back here, mind ya.
Well, we always know that's a talent and a half.
He's absolutely playing brilliant for Man United.
Well, we always knew once he gets that chance.
Aye.
We're lucky just to get him on loan.
I know.
John Smiles says, give Roberts a rise. In fact, upgrade them all, worth a try. And David Joblin says, Luke is a gentleman. God, we've had some messages tonight. Crikey, it's been mental this Monday night.
There must be plenty of people watching.
There's a good 35 in the chat tonight, which is good. Which is good. Is there any matches on tonight, by the way?
No, there's no on.
That's surprising. There's usually a Monday night game, isn't there?
No. So they're all playing this week, like Tuesday and Wednesday. Full Premier League programme.
That's why. Andrew,
Newcastle play Liverpool on Wednesday.
Newcastle play what?
Liverpool on Wednesday.
Oh, it'd be a tasty tie that. They've got a tough game there, mind, haven't they?
Yeah, that'll be a good game to watch.
Newcastle did a Sunderland against Crystal Palace. It's exactly what we would have done.
Yeah, no.
94th minute.
They never had one shot on target, Newcastle, in the whole game.
They didn't. I watched it.
No.
Andrew Moore says, Cole Palmer, he runs around with his gob open like Tommy does as well. A lot of people say Tommy looks a bit like Luke Chadwick and all.
He played like him and all.
He does, aye. John Nesbitt, he says, they are a southern team where the better players want to play, hence why there is a boatload of teams from the south in the Premier League. SJ says, what do you think of us getting Stoke in the Cup? He says, we're playing them 3 times before the end of January.
Aye.
It's balmy, isn't it?
Aye. Well, there's only a few minutes to go, and we better start talking about this game.
Right, good point. I'm just about to now get the league tables up.
Time flies, doesn't it?
It's been a good show tonight.
Aye, great man.
The Stoke City is sitting respectively 14th.
Yeah. What's the record?
I'm going to give a rundown over the last few games. So the last game they lost at home against Burnley 2-0.
No.
They drew 0-0 at home against Preston. Preston had a player sent off.
Right.
They drew away to QPR 1-1. They then drew at home against Millwall.
Some draws, isn't there?
1-1, yeah. They got a cracking win away to Blackburn 2-0.
Right.
And they beat struggling Derby County 2-1. I'm just trying to scroll back down. They had a thumping win over Portsmouth 6-1 way back in the 2nd of October. Apart from that, in the FA, in the England, the EFL Cup, they beat Middlesbrough, didn't they? 5-0 on their patch.
Right.
They've not had any really. Oh, and they beat Coventry City on the opening game of the season. So they're now to be.
Who's the manager of Stoke now?
You what, mate?
Who's the manager?
A Stoke.
Aye.
Let's have a look. Coach is Pilash Narcis.
I knew I didn't know them. I knew I didn't know. It wasn't that Swat, him that got from Plymouth, wasn't it? Was it like a foreign name? But he's English.
Dave, they're not to be afraid of.
No, they'll just be hard to beat like the all Stoke sides are.
Oh,
they'll all be big blokes. They'll all be big blokes. That's all they've assigned. I just hope they didn't park the bus and spoil the game because it just sickens you like.
And of course, that's our weakness at the minute, trying to break teams down. And Janet says, time to show Stoke what we can do. Ken Walt says, Salha to score a hat-trick. Playing Stoke, the ground will be empty, says John.
What did he say?
Ken says, Salha to score a hat-trick. I don't know if he's getting muddled up with somebody else. Yeah. What do you mean there, Ken, mate? I don't know if it's been a spelling error there or something, mate.
We need to come out against Stoke the way we come out against Sheffield.
Oh, aye. And that's been long overdue, hasn't it?
Try and blitz somewhere.
That was cracking that, like, wasn't it?
Aye, we need it. We're due a game like that where we just go and bang.
It'd be and it's long needed, isn't it? We've been waiting for it.
And I think that'll be the kick, and then if we win against Bristol, and then we're right back in amongst the mix then, and then other teams will start. We'll be saying, oh, that Sunderland now, the Blittley, they come again.
That's what we're wanting.
6 points is massive in 1 week, you know.
Of course it is. And I didn't want to see, and this is one thing as well, we didn't have that second half syndrome against Sheffield United either, did we?
No.
You know, so whether something clicks when they go in front, and that's what causes it, I don't know. But I want to see 90 minutes of some really good football from Sunderland against Stoke.
Yeah.
John Smiles says, best show going, Cabbie and Dave. Thanks very much, John, for that. Colin says, I've just subscribed to your boy, Davey. Gary,
well done.
Well done,
Give him some support.
Gary Hall says, great show as usual, lads. Gary Hall says, we must make our superior talent take advantage. Gary Hall says, Pilash, yes, I think for the Stoke coach. Jonas says, if we don't win against Stoke, we are going to drop down that league. It's such a vital match, that, isn't it? I didn't want another draw, Davey, do we?
No, we need to win those 2 home games just to get us back up there, like back on the horses this year.
We do, I. Janet says, I'm impressed by Davy's sharp brain. His facts are correct, and he remembers so much. Ken Walton says, sorry, Liverpool forward. That's what he's on about. I think when they play Newcastle, I think that's what he's on about. SJ says, they'll come for a point playing the low block tactic. This is now the time to kick on, lads, says Gary. So then we'll go a quick. Let's do a prediction then. Anybody? Are you lot in the chat? Off you go with your predictions. What you going for, Davey?
I'll go for 2-0.
You going for 2?
2-0. Wilson and Rigg.
I'm going for 4-0. Seeing you mentioned Sheffield.
Yes.
Seeing you mentioned Sheffield Wednesday, I'm gonna go for. Let's do another Sheffield Wednesday.
Who's the scorers?
I'm going to go for Isidore.
All right.
Bellingham.
Yeah.
I fancy Rig to get one.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go for 09.
Get in. Look, 1-9 up from a corner, eh?
Up from an amazing corner from Patrick Roberts.
Or a free kick from the outside of the box.
Aye. Oh,
Because he loves to try and get on them, didn't he?
I never. I shouldn't really leave bloody Patrick Roberts out. I should have said I'm going to get a good goal from Patrick Roberts, aren't I?
Oh, or assist will do.
Assist. John says if Davey keeps this up, you'll have to pay him, Stuart. SJ's going for 1-1. Ooh, didn't want another draw. No. Thank you.
Don't make post with draws on.
No, I'm going 2-0 as well, says Andrew. Kevin Ware says, Kevin Atkinson says, cheers, Colin. There's a video on there with my father, also on the shorts. My crazy nana on a roller coaster.
Oh,
I'll give him a sub. I'll give him a sub. He's been very supportive on this channel. You a boy like David.
I mean, you'll have to join it, right, and watch the video with my mother on the roller coaster at South Shields.
I will do. I'll have a look at that.
You've seen nothing like it in your life. 90-year-old effing and blinding and screaming.
I'll have to have a look at that.
And yeah, it was that good. It was on Radio Newcastle.
Really?
He sent it into Radio Newcastle and they played it with all the bleeps on. Beep, bleep, 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 all the hour.
Oh, that'll have been great to listen to. I bet you were stitches.
Gilly Whoop rang out Kevin up.
Aye.
She rang him up and talked to him about Nana Gladdy.
Brilliant. Yeah, we'll have to get her on here, man, on a Monday night, one night.
Aye. Oh, she'll be watching it now.
Will she?
Aye, she watches every week.
Oh, fantastic. Well, hello to, what's her name, Davey, again? Nana?
Gladdy.
How are you doing, Gladdy?
Aye.
The club and roller coaster grandmother.
Aye.
That's
9 o'clock, son. That's another 1 hour.
I know. Janet's gone 2-1. Steve Taylor says another great show tonight. Got to love and leave. As saw our last come watch those two Geordies on I'm a Celeb. John Nesbitt says 5 now Sunderland. Gary Hoyle says Sun and 3. Stoke nil. Rig Wilson Job. Andrew says both for Isidore. Kevin Atkinson 3-1 Sunderland. Janet says John N 5-0. Wow, I truly hope so. Thanks for the great night, boys, says Ken. You're welcome. 3-1 Isidore Rig Job. Good night, lads. Janet, have some faith, says John. And Colin Major says 3-0. Well, Davey, it's gone really. I think it's been a good show tonight,
brilliant.
Isn't it?
Brilliant show, son. Best on the telly.
It's been quite an uplifting show, considering we lost against Sheffield United, isn't it? So
we're ready for the weekend. 6-pointer coming up.
We are, Davey. I'm going to listen to you on Total Sport this week.
I'll be on tomorrow night.
Good lad. Say hello to the missus for us.
See you later, lad. No bother. See you later, lad.
Dog walking time. See you later, Davey.
Ta-ra.
There we go then. That's us from the MACKEM Cabbie. Hope you like the new template as well. I've been putting together. So we'll just get rid of that thingy there. There we go. So yeah, thanks very much for tuning in. I'll just put me. Oops, don't want to move that there, do I? Video capture device. Let's go in the middle there. So this is my new template. I hope you guys like it. So thanks very much anyway for tuning in. I've enjoyed it. The show's been really good tonight. It's been spot on. Good feedback from all the fans and stuff on the channel and the usual regulars. So we will say a massive good night to you all, and take care, and we will see you. More videos coming through, and we'll see you on the next instalment of the MACKEM, Cabbie and Davey show, which will